What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 6T3. My name is Ben Taft. I don't know, maybe you're curious what my last name was. All these times I've made videos and just said my name was Ben. My last name's actually Taft. So just so you know, this is Kart 6T3 for any new viewers here. We talk about tips and tricks and all sorts of kart-related items, chassis, tires, blah, blah, blah. I sometimes go on I won't even call them rants. My wife is surprised, I think, at my ability not to go on any rants. Now, I try and be as PC as possible here. I mean, there are things that happen at kart tracks. There are things that happen in general, racing, NASCAR, whatever, that I could probably just go nuts on and go into one of what she knows is my infamous rants. But I try and keep everything, more to the informational side. I'm not really that clickbaity type of, drama-driven type of person. I would say I don't like it. I'm as invested as anybody else. When anything happens in NASCAR or this or that, I want to know what's going on. But as far as a content creator, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be that type. So I try and be as informational based as just descript. There's no need to go into the inner workings of dumb stuff. Just my thoughts on some things. But I came up with this idea a while ago. It's been in my list, and I thought, you know what, we're gonna go for this one. Why no high side? Karts in particular. This is what I'm talking about. I kind of wanted to address the single lane racetracks, or what people consider to be single lane, and why people just don't if he's on the bottom, why don't you just take the high side? I gave you the high side to pass me. This in a kart, all right, you see it on TV. You see your late models, you see all that, you got one guy, bottom feeding, getting a good drive off the top or off the bottom, and taking the shorter way around the bottom, great. And then you have your high, wide, and handsome, just bearing it in the corner, carrying that amount of momentum around the top side, leaning on the cushion, looking great, and all that. On a kart track, we do not get a cushion for the most part. I mean, I've never seen one. Just like, get up there and ride the cushion. What cushion? There's no cushion on a kart track. We don't usually, even in the opens, we don't create enough horsepower to rip up the track enough to get that nice cushion, that pile of dirt that one calls the cushion up there to lean on to get your right sides against. For the most part, I'm not saying it's not entirely possible. I'm sure somewhere, somehow, it is possible. But from my point of view, the reason tracks get single grooved is the preferred line. So, a track has a shape, and you're going to go, high in, low to the bottom, high in, low to the bottom. Well, when everybody does this, when everybody doesn't spread out, up north here, we get marbly stuff. So a line develops, and even though we don't get black groove like down south, in the line, it starts to pebble up, and then crap gets tossy outside. Now, it's soft stuff. I think that up north, you have a better chance of getting a second groove, of taking somewhat of a high line, but that's more just of an arc, and then you try and, maybe you can move up a lane or so to keep your momentum up. But for the most part, if you see somebody do that, the person who follows is going to do the same. They're going to figure out that, hey, that's the faster line. Continue, bringing that momentum up. What you need for it to be a multi-groove track is for karts to be everywhere. And that is it's on the track prep crew. However, they prep the track. But then, even I say that, it's up on them, to prep the whole thing wide. The karts are going to take the preferred line anyway. So it's, why is there no high side? It's not for lack of nuts. It's not for lack of balls. I'll take a high side, man. I'll dive down, and you'll see me do it in practice. I will send it in, even on the open. I'll send it in, try and diamond the corner, you run in it high, let the kart take an angle, and then rifle off and carry that type of momentum off the corner. The problem is Once that low line develops, you're just not going to go up there. You can try it. I mean, if you're in desperation, you got 2 laps to go or something like that, and you cannot get a drive off the bottom to get by, say, the person in the lead, you can try the high side. It opens the door for, somebody behind you to take advantage, and all of a sudden instead of getting the win, instead of passing that cart, you're now getting passed. Are you seeing what I hope I didn't get too much in the weeds there in my explanation. Down south, this is even smaller window, in my opinion, unless it's a super wet track, which I've seen very little of. Dirt fault, they put calcium down, it becomes that black rock hard groove, and it's, there's just enough room to make a pass, but usually it's pretty tight. I mean, unless you have, say, assistance with a clone or a predator, and you get a line on somebody, and somebody, gets against your bumper, and you almost draft by a guy, that person usually gets freight trained. It's not much wider than a cart down there, and I can tell you, from experience, that high line, there is a zero grip when you get out of the black groove. So it's just like, oh, why don't you take the high side? It's just like, I didn't want to get sent into the freaking grass or into the wall or hit the fence or anything like that, because that's exactly what happens when you get on a southern track. From my experience, when you get out of the groove onto that stuff that hasn't had the calcium compacted into it, it hasn't had all the prep from the tires run into it, it is like a sheet of ice. Your cart just takes off, and it is not the way you want to go. You can stand on the brakes, whatever, it just and into the grass, into the fence you go. End of your day, or you lose every bit of track position that you found. So it's not, in my opinion, again, I always say that, it's not for a lack of want. I run a wedge, in my UAS ride. I run the wedge. You would think that we can manipulate the air. We can get up there, and maybe to a degree, especially up north here on looser tracks and stuff, we have more of ability to do that with all the downforce that we have built into a UAS ride to get a little wider of a groove, to maybe take a high side, but it's very rare. I mean, you got to have, in my opinion, a wet track. If you go up north here, if you have a very saturated track, then you get a sticky groove that is multiple grooves wide. And then you can run the high side. You can carry that momentum type of thing. Again, there's no cushion to run on there. You're just hoping for grip to be up top. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Would I love to take the high side? Yes. I have forever embraced the fact I'm a bottom feeder. I've been passed by carts on the high side before, or at least been challenged by them, and I felt myself not being prepared for that. Hey, you can't just focus on being on the bottom. You can, but you're being susceptible to being passed on the high side. So why not venture up there? Why not drive it in hot to see, at least in practice, maybe the first lap or two in a race, send it. Just see if there's traction up there. Maybe you pick up a position. Maybe you immediately go, woo, that was a bad idea. So, real quick here, I guess at the end of the video, if you didn't mind hitting a like on the video, maybe subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. I'm going to do something now that's, I'll say, kind of gross. I don't know if anybody's into this, but I'm going to warn you. My last video of me racing to the Grand Nationals, I'm glad you guys watched it. I didn't get a ton of comments or anything, but you guys watched it, and I appreciate it. I kind of just I threw it out there. Why? Because I cut my arm pretty bad, and it's not that it really affects me doing videos, but I just wasn't in the mood to do, this whole thing for you guys. I dropped broken glass, lift gate at work, and I sliced my arm open. I have 9 stitches in my right arm now. It's covered up here, but maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe I'll put a black screen, and then maybe I'll show you what I did to myself. It's pretty gross. But I did that on Thursday, and I just, it was cold, and I really wasn't feeling like shooting a video on Saturday. And so I found the footage. I was going through footage. I was like, hey, this is a video we're going to put out this Sunday. Not that I ever have to explain myself to you guys, but that's kind of why that happened. I didn't want to come out here and, go into a subject and everything with my arm being all torn up. And but all right, forewarning: if you get grossed up, if you grossed out, if you throw up, if you're queasy in the stomach area, I'm gonna do like a blackout screen, and then I'm gonna show you what happened to my arm at work. It's just dumb. Mistakes were made. It was just unfortunate series of unfortunate circumstances there, and bad stuff happened. So, all right, I appreciate every one of you coming by, and just a little entertainment for you. So, forewarning, if you don't want to see this, turn the video off right after I'm done talking here. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.